from Holistic Lactation 365, and today we're going to talk about how to determine if your baby is getting enough milk from your breast. Now, the breasts are not like bottles. There's no measurement lines, they're not see-through, so you can't determine exactly how much the baby is getting, but there are some markers that you can look for to help you determine how well your baby is nursing and how well they're transferring that milk from your breast. So this is probably the most popular question that I get from pregnant moms preparing for their journey. And I do talk about this and much more in my Blissful Breastfeeding program, where I walk moms through everything they need to know to get off to the best start possible on their lactation journeys. So if you're interested in signing up for our next session, I will put the details down in the description below. So let's dive right into it. Now, in short, I like to use acronyms to help us remember things. Double S, double W, okay? Say it with me, double S, double W. Now, after your baby nurses, they should look sleepy. That's the first S. Sleepy, relaxed, satisfied. Babies are like us. When they first go to the breast, they're very ravenous, right? They want to get started. They might be a little tense, like feed me right now. But as they become satisfied, you will see that tension leave their bodies. So when they first start, their little hands might be balled into fists, everything flexed, everything tight. And then you see that tension leave, okay? Those little hands open up, that little arm might fall down. I've had some moms describe it as milk drunk, okay? They look like they just had a little too much. So the first S stands for sleepy. Does the baby look sleepy after feeding? If so, that is a good sign that baby is nursing well. Now the second S stands for soft. Do my breasts feel soft after nursing? When you start off with the nursing session, your breast will probably feel more full. But as the baby nurses, you should feel changes. The breast should get softer, lighter. That's a good sign that the baby was able to transfer some of that milk that was in the breast, okay? Now let's move on to the double W's. Wet. Is the baby having lots of wet and dirty diapers? If a baby is nursing well, it's going in, that means it should be making its way out. That is a good sign of good nutrition. And then our last W stands for weight. Is the baby growing appropriately? If so, that's an excellent sign. If the baby is nursing well, drinking well, then we should see that reflected in their weight. Now, when a baby is latched onto the breast, there are a couple things you want to look for. Number one, the baby should have lots of breast in the mouth, not just the nipple. If baby is only sucking on the nipple like a straw, that can be painful. I want y'all to visualize this. Babies breastfeed. They don't nipple feed. If baby is only sucking on the nipple like a straw, that is uncomfortable for mom, and the babies are not able to draw as much milk as they can when they are deeply attached to the breast. When a baby is on the breast well, they really form almost like an airtight seal to the breast. They are locked in. When a baby is on the breast well, the feeding tends to be quiet. Now you might hear some breathing noises, but if you're hearing a lot of smacking sounds or clicking, then that is a red flag that you want to work to deepen that latch. The smacking or clicking sounds, that indicates that the baby is kind of losing their seal to the breast, and we really want them locked in. Now, when a baby is on the breast well, their lips are usually flared outwards, kind of like a fish, and that helps them to maintain that seal at the breast. And what mom should feel is a strong tugging sensation that is not painful. If it's painful, then 9 times out of 10, it's because the baby is not on deep enough. Now, there are exceptions to the rule. Every now and then, I'll come across a mom who the baby is attached deeply, but mom is still having some discomfort. And that is an indicator that we need to deep dive a little further and try and troubleshoot what exactly is causing the discomfort. But usually it's a shallow latch. So when a baby is nursing, we should see movement up under the chin, like a rocking movement. And when they swallow, you see the chin dip down when they take that swallow. Sometimes you can hear it. It sounds really soft, almost like a puff of air when they're swallowing, kind of this sound. I hope you can hear that, but it's a very, very soft sound. You might have to turn, if you have the TV on or something playing in the background, you might have to turn it off to hear it. But swallowing, that's a good sign that the baby is drinking. Now, I do want to point out one thing. In the beginning, there's a special milk that moms make. That milk is called colostrum. It's super nutritious, very good for the baby, but there's not a large volume of it. So we don't always hear a lot of swallows in the beginning, that first day, second day, maybe third day postpartum. But as mom's milk is starting to increase, which usually happens somewhere around day 3, day 4, day 5, that's when moms start to feel their breasts getting heavier and fuller and warmer as the milk is rapidly starting to increase and transition from the colostrum to more mature milk. Around that time is when you start to hear the swallows. You start to observe the swallows more regularly. So when it comes to nursing a baby and determining how well they're doing at the breast, you have to look at the big picture. Remember, double S, double W. Does my baby look sleepy after feeding? If so, that's a good sign. Are my breasts feeling softer, lighter? That's a good sign. Is my baby having lots of wet and dirty diapers? If so, that's a good sign. And the weight, is my baby growing appropriately, growing as expected? If so, that's a good sign. So remember double S, double W. Remember that a latch, the deep latch, is important, where the baby has lots of breast in the mouth, not just the nipple. They can pull more milk from mom when they're on there deeply. And know that pain, it is common, but it's not normal. Pain is an indicator that something is off, and we want to adjust the latch and try and get things to be as comfortable as possible for you. Nobody wants their breasts and their nipples to be painful and sore and feeling like they're gonna fall off. Not on my watch. So definitely the latch is important. I encourage all of my clients to really focus on the latch in the first couple of days, not necessarily how much milk they feel like they have, because the colostrum, even though it's super nutritious, there's only small volumes of it. Very concentrated, potent, small volumes. So you won't necessarily feel like you have milk those first couple of days until your body starts to really rapidly change that milk to the mature milk. And around that time, that's when you feel the breast get heavier, get fuller, get warmer. Last but not least, your intuition. If you feel like something is not right, don't hesitate to ask for some assistance. I would love to support you on your journey. I am an international board certified lactation consultant. I help moms all over the world with all things related to breastfeeding, but also self-care and self-love and healing practices. I'm also a Reiki practitioner, so I can do energy work for my clients if that is something they're into. But bringing it back in, trust yourself. Don't be afraid to ask for help. use the resources that are available for you, and just educate yourself about the basics so that you know what to expect going into your journey. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, morning, evening, night, whatever it is, whatever time you're watching this. And if there are any topics that you would like for me to discuss moving forward, please let me know in the comments, whether you're going to my Instagram or to my email, or if you're visiting my website. It is Holistic Lactation 365, because we talk about caring for the whole body over here. Mind, body, and spirit. Holistic with a W. All right, y'all, over and out. Till next time, be well.